Cool, awesome. Hi guys, how's it going? All right. I think we're aware that not everyone knows why we're here, what this is. But we used to be a fun podcast about JavaScript and front-end development. In fact, no big deal, but Brendan Eich did start his 2011 JSConfUS keynote with, so I was watching YayQuery the other day. So not too bad.
No big deal, no big deal. We were also one of the top 2 podcasts focusing on jQuery. Also one of the only 2 podcasts focusing on jQuery from 2009 till 2011. Very popular among people who watched podcasts about jQuery. And this year, we got invited to this year's JSConf after being the lunchtime entertainment at the 2010? The notes say 11, but I knew that was wrong. So you shouldn't expect to learn a whole lot because we're really more about being stupid.
But so obviously, for those of you who aren't up to speed on what we do, we've compiled kind of a greatest hits montage of our greatest hits. That's we're gonna roll that for you right now after we give you a little background.
Oftentimes, Adam would either just nail a segue or just really bomb them. And so I'm glad you guys were able to get a taste of him really bombing one. So a little background on how this starts. A lot of people saw this in the show, but we never gave the background on it, so we thought we'd give some behind-the-scenes info. OK, so clap is like our Etherpad that we use, and a lot of people actually, you've probably seen something on OK, so clap before. In the first episode, I was the editor, and for a few I was, the really bad quality ones. And Paul, every time he would start a sentence, he'd be like, OK, so, and he'd clap his hands. And I just got really tired of it, and so I registered the domain and gifted it to him. So we ended up using that as the way we would sync audio in the beginning of episodes. So that's the story behind OK, so clap and how our montage starts. That's the montage sound.
We should do a clappy clap, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Sure. Alex.
Paul.
Adam.
Rebecca.
Adam.
Alex again.
Adam.
Perfect.
Come on, everybody, let's YayQuery, a whole lot of yay and a query too. So come on, let's go, 'cause we got a show for you.
This is not the JQuery podcast, but instead this is the
Yay! Yay! Query.
the YayQuery podcast. So we just basically wanted to have a very casual conversation about what's going on in the jQuery and front-end development community. I think it might be time for a segment that we like to call the Bug and of the Week.
If you missed it last year, JSConf 2010 is on the horizon. We loved, Paul and I were at this conference, and I think everybody here has actually signed up already because it was just the best conference of the year this year.
You wanna talk on the YayQuery party line?
This is Michael Taylor.
Are you saying there's a map method on a jQuery object, and there's also a map method just on the jQuery namespace itself?
Much like after and before Columbus's voyage to the New World, there are 2 different maps that we're working with here.
And I think we're going to leave you with that, along with our best turkey impressions and a Jonathan Neal song.
Ultimately, at its core, it's just JavaScript, and what we're focusing on is making JavaScript the first class language that it is, right?
Well, anyway, 13% is like, it's more than 10, so I think that's worth talking about. It's not
13%. It's more than 10.
more than 10.
Speaking of Jonathan Neal,
in addition to console.log, there's also console.dir. And so
Dir.
dir, D-I-R.
Not everyone knew that.
Console.dir.
Also, we found the complete bunny's guide to jQuery.
That's what we're calling it because we can't read Japanese.
That or jQuery for bunnies. Or I think it's time for the plugin of the week.
Yeah, it's really, really great. It's the plugin of the week.
Adams, you're still going.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
Totally still going.
we don't have to finish those.
It's the plugin of the week, and it's really, really great.
Sencha, EXT Foundation or whatever they were, I don't know, EXT Core International. They are now Sencha.
We have tonight with us Peter Higgins, and he is going to help us bring in a new segment that we're going to call
YayQuery, 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 YayQuery.
So I was watching the Food Network this weekend. I wasn't watching the Food Network this weekend, but there's a show called Throwdown.
Throwdown.
Throwdown. And right now, that's what me and Paul are gonna have.
Oh,
about
shit.
Welcome to the 13th episode of the YayQuery podcast. Proud attenders of the 2010 JSConf.
We're going to hop right into our favorite segment. It's the...
Hidden enhancements.
What?
The little tiny things you never thought you'd see.
Oh.
This week's hidden enhancement is the event constructor. Didn't know it existed earlier? Well, now you do. var event equals new jQuery.event, capital E because it's a constructor. You can throw at anything. What's it good for? Nobody knows. What's next, Adam?
So, John, I'd like to ask you, if you would, could you name 10 reserved words in JavaScript for us, please?
Well... So...
We did not know about this, John.
I didn't even know that so was an operator in JavaScript.
Let's get to the content, guys.
That was very emblematic of what JSConf is, which is just crazy. So if you get a chance next year, check it out. It is a wild and fun weekend.
Pandemonium.
Pandemonium! We're joined tonight by our good friend, Ralph Holtzman. We wanted to tell you about, let's just call it the plugin of the plugin of the...
It's the plugin of the week, and it's really, really great. It's the plugin of the week. Yeah!
That was really weak, guys.
Let's try again.
We so excited. We so excited. We gonna have a ball today.
I thought it was awesome. My arms are still outstretched.
Oh.
I thought you were gonna play the music.
Oh no,
That
sorry, no
happens
music.
in post, Ralph.
Sometimes it happens now.
I thought he would still play it for us.
We like him.
Do you want to have a sing-along?
No, it's cool.
Okay, so let me just tell you about sausage.
Someone asked what Crockford's opinion on JS Hint was, and he said something along the lines of, people will always want to do stupid things, and luckily for those people, there's JS Hint.
What's that word, like something that sounds like what it's...
Onomatopoeia?
The word is what it...
No.
No,
That's very wrong.
Absolutely not.
Bam! That's wrong.
Yay, JSConf. Chris Williams put this on last year, and it was just amazing, and we're all going to be there this year, and we can't wait. So sign up.
Everybody have a yay of a time until JSConf, and we'll get you some of our backlogged videos up now that we're sober again. So,
rock and roll.
Hurrah!
Awesome.
Peace out.
Bye.
From unknown, it's back to our code till then.
Woo! Woo! I'll never do that again. So you guys may have figured out by now that there's no backlog of podcasts. But ultimately, we're really proud because what we realized was we kind of kicked off a new generation of content where people could just delve into whatever they wanted. So we obviously saw, the first take on this was the YayQuery segment with Pete. But then we were really surprised to find out that then there was the YayQuery, starring the fruit-striped zebra, and that's where Horse.js got his start. And then from there, it really started taking off. Our Canadian friend got involved. So the crazy thing about this is then it really started going viral because Darcy Clark wasn't the only Darcy Clark who wanted to get in on this. Turns out there's a bodybuilder named Darcy Clark. And he and a female bodybuilder, a protein shake, and a just pile of whey protein started YayQuery. And the Scripps Howard Network, owners of the Food Network, realized that inanimate objects just talking for 30 minutes was a great content idea. So that's where they did Filet Query, Beignet Query, Chicken Satay Query, and of course, then 3 crustaceans and a supercomputer joined together for Cray Query. And I know what you guys are all thinking. That shit's cray. But that shit, what's really cray is YayQuery. But, ultimately YayQuery turned out to be kind of shitty and you kind of wanted to wash yourself afterwards. So that's why there was Bidet Query. But then I showed that to my grandmother and she was like, Oy vey Query! But we knew we were going to start to jump the shark when the mainstream entertainment kind of got involved and a whip, wax, a tie, and 50 actual shades of gray joined for 50 Shades of Grey Query. And then Hollywood got in on the action with, of course, Michael Bay Query. And, we had, this really just goes on and on. We have at least 20 unused shitty jokes. But we're gonna turn this on its head and go back to our roots from JSConf 2010 and do a game show. It's game time.
Cool. So we did a game show where we called groups of 10 up last time during lunch, and everyone was trying to eat, and they're like, God, leave us alone. But we were in there, and you couldn't really ignore us. And so this time, we're going to let you stay in your seats, and you're going to be able to vote with your phones, or you can use your internet-connected device in order to vote. So do we have a URL? Do I say that yet? I don't know. I don't remember the order. I'm sorry. So sorry.
So basically, Bootstrap has obviously taken off like gangbusters the last couple years. And Jacob Thornton, Fat, obviously the maintainer of that, great personality, great guy. So we decided to put together a game show called Did Fat Tweet That? If you follow Fat, or even if you don't, you'll probably be able to play along. So here are the rules. We're going to post the content of a tweet. Fat may or may not have tweeted it. You can go to pollev.com/YayQuery. Each of the polls will have a text code you can tweet to, text to 22333, or you can tweet the code at @poll. And the, @poll. Way to go, guys. You must know someone at Twitter. We're going to do that right now. And we'll give you 15, 30 seconds to answer, play some tunes. So the first one is kind of softball. Whether or not you follow Fat, just vote, and we'll see what everyone thinks.
Oh, ooh, I'm doing it.
Nice. This one says, I'm really excited about the upcoming Bootstrap 3 release. Congrats to all involved. Impeccable grammar. A lot of fakes on this one.
All right, should we reveal?
Wait till 100. Let's wait till we get to 100.
Yeah, that's the critical mass. All right, 100 results. It is fake. It is fake.
Yes, congrats.
Jacob would never tweet anything like this. There's a capital, there's an apostrophe. He mentioned technology at all. So let's move on. Burritos are my family. Let's get some results for this. Ooh. Wow. This is the YayQuery dance party theme, I think.
Wow.
Critical mass at 105, 102. It's fake. We got you guys. We just wanted to shake it up in the beginning. So now you don't know what to think. So let's go to the next one. What if pizza is uncomfortable with its reputation? Real or fake, guys? Real or fake? Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Very real. I think some people are on Jacob's Twitter page. It's already critical mass. Don't go there. It's real. All right, next one. Guys, my new doctor uses Linux. Oh, very neck and neck. Oh, back to fake. Real. Oh, and it looks like I'm going to let it wait it out. All right.
All right.
Yep, it is real. Good work.
Nice.
Mainline General So's every day, see how far it got me. Real or fake? Wow, really taking it up. That one was Adams, I believe. I think you really nailed it. Bandanas. A lot of context there. I think we got you guys again. All right. Holy shit, baby corn isn't actually corn. What is real life even?
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
That is real.
Nice work. Nice work.
Laying in bed alone eating Smarties. Period. 27. No period. Oh. Coming back? No. And we're real. No. Yes, it's real. Okay. Got a hat today, Twitter. I like the first person usage. 104, it is real. You gotcha. Worst tweet ever, am I right? Lol Ubuntu. This is the last one, guys, so make it count. And it looks like it's real. It is real. Good work, everybody.
Good work.
Looks like you guys got like 50. The crowd was 50. 55. Next segment.
All right. So we had a segment before, and it was called, let's see if I can play this. You want to play it for me? It's like a, come on.
You can put it on the actual audio.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Let's do that. Oh, it's not that one. No, come on. Come on.
Recorded that.
So this was one of our favorite segments, but we wanted to kind of like summarize all the things that we learned over the past few years and kind of contextualize it. And so Paul Ash's jQuery anti-pattern for performance of the decade is Paul Ash's anti-pattern for performance of the week. So basically, I wanted to just apologize. I got caught up in like the shiny performance optimizations, the kinds of things that you might see on JSPerf, and just like really dig into those little micro things that overall in the big picture don't really teach a whole lot. Can I do the demo? No. What's that, demo? Demo. All right. Rebecca said you might not learn anything, but we're going to try something here. So very quickly, I just wanted to point out JS, when it comes to a speed perspective, especially on websites, right? JS is often a small fraction of the picture, both on like load time and on run time. These are actually stats from when IE8 was released. There was a good talk about IE8 performance. But this is as true as today as it was then. They looked at like the amount of JavaScript was only contributing to 33% of the time spent on the CPU on like Google Maps and Gmail, but on like regular websites around 16%, not a big deal. And so what I want to do is kind of show you a more realistic view of overall performance. So what I have here is kind of this infographic-y parallax site. Quickly going to scroll through it just to kind of show you what it looks like. So we got kind of this explosion thing, and then over here, this little physicsy dots that go whoosh, whoo, it's fun. And then this action, parallaxy, fun stuff, and then I keep going down, and then there's these dots that kind of explode all over the place. It's pretty cool, but what I'm going to do is go back to the very top, load up timeline in the Chrome DevTools and frames mode, start recording, and then I'm just going to scroll through the page again. Same kind of deal. But what you're seeing on the bottom, all these bars coming up through, is that's giving me an idea of the kinds of operations that the browser is doing this whole time. Oh. No, I just hit close tab because seems normal. Ouch. All right. Frames mode. All right, yeah, so it worked. So what we're looking at here is kind of the performance as a narrative of going through this operation. Towards the beginning, this green section here is paints. We have really heavy painting, and this is as all these orange bubbles are coming in. Then we go into a bunch of yellow. This is during the physics operation here. This is actual JavaScript being pretty heavy. Then it's pretty chill in the middle for the most part. We're hitting our frame budget goals. Then down towards the bottom, we have this kind of white explosion, and there's kind of a lot of operations, including a good amount of purple spent in here. This is time spent in layout. But this gives us a good view of kind of like all the things that are going on, so that like for each segment, there is actually a specific, well, there are predominant bottlenecks. And this gives a good idea of how to address this. Paint here, JavaScript here, and if we wanted to find out kind of what we could do for JavaScript, I think Peter Flynn from Adobe showed this just the other day. Record a CPU profile and switch over to the new flame chart and get a view of over time, kind of at each frame, what's the consistency of frames here and what are we looking at per frame. This is minified, but you get what I'm saying. All right, enough useful content. Let's go back to the show. All right.
Yeah. Woo! So obviously, as you may have seen, the plugin of the week was one of our most cherished segments. One mention on YayQuery plugin of the week. Pretty soon you have like a successful startup and a book deal. Drew Wilson. But the thing is, nowadays when people release jQuery plugins, they end up on Hacker News and everyone's like, "Yo, what the fuck is this bullshit? Why would you bother like wrapping some simple iteration sugar around like something useful when you could be a dick and not do that?" So as you can see, here's a Hacker News search for why is this a jQuery plugin, just a small snippet. So that's why when we come up here to JSConf, we know everyone's really sophisticated, and if we're going to tell you about a plugin, we want it to be something that's really modular. We want it to be something that's useful in a broad variety of situations, but most importantly, we want it to be something that inspires thoughts of a romantic walk in the enchanted woods with notes of apricot nectar, mimosa petals, and Tuscan cypress. That's why our plugin of the week for this week is the Bed & Bath & Body Works Wallflowers Signature Collection Twilight Woods 2-pack refill.
Boom. All right, so back in 2009 when we got started with this podcast, we were kind of looking to the future, because that's what this podcast was about, was being smart people looking to the future. And so way back then we put together a time capsule.
Time capsule.
That smells like the beer from yesterday. It does. No, really. So we don't really remember what's in here, but we're gonna read these predictions that we made from back in 2009 about what the world would be like when we were here in 2013. It's a good thing someone else is unfolding these, because microphone. All right, prediction number 1: jQuery will need to come out with a web app framework in order to remain relevant. Is John Dalton in here somewhere? Oh, Fuse.js will be released. Oh yeah, oh. We will definitely have modules in JavaScript. I don't think I should.
Wait, let me see.
No, that's.
Yeah. Paul's 15 minutes of fame will be over.
Next one.
Yeah, I don't know who wrote that. Hard to say. Apple will totally cave on that whole Flash thing. Last one. All right. We weren't very even about this, but that's all right. JSConf seems like a nice idea, but the Ajax experience has way too much developer mindshare for it to ever take off.
Sick burn.
All right, so we just wanted to shout a thank you to all the people who helped make YayQuery such a success. Kohitre was our illustrator on our site. You'll see a bunch of these fantastic illustrations of mystical, magical creatures. Thank you very much, Kohitre. He's awesome. Snover, who did our video editing, a lot of the stuff you saw from the montage that was fantastically good after we fired Alex for doing such a great job. Really.
I edited the montage. I edited his edits.
Thank you to John Neal, who made all this awesome music. If you, it's great. If you just Google JQuery music, you'll find a band page of the entire soundtrack. The songs are incredible.
Last of all, we want to thank you. Thank you for having us back. Thank you for having us here. And thanks, great segue.
You probably have closing music or something right there. We'll walk off stage, too. And then we'll slowly come back and get our laptops quietly. Yeah.